Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you had an amazing day, that you are going to have an amazing day. And that's one of my things. I love to order an amazing day the next day. And when I wake up the next day, when I do my stretching, I say, thank you. Thank you for another day. Thank you for being seen, being heard, being loved, and also being able to love. So, my beautiful ones, this week we're talking about mental health. Our 2 hour special is going to be amazing. I've got guests all over the world that will come and share their knowledge, their wisdom, and some of them their transformational stories to uplift all of us. I always believe that you matter. Everybody does matter. And that is also one of my principles, that all people are important. And sometimes they don't know their own value. And if there's a way for me to show you you are valuable just by looking at you, giving you all my eyes, all my attention, making sure my ears listen to what you are saying, then it shows you I value you. So my last guest just came on. I'm so happy to hear he's here. I've got two amazing sponsors for the show. I'm going to bring them in, Jeffrey and Elena. We're going to play their videos, and then the rest of the team is here. And I hope there is something that somebody is waiting to hear today. And hope is so important because hope is life. Here we go. I'm bringing in Jeffrey and I'm bringing in Elena. Hello, my two beautiful guests. I am so happy you are here. So we are going to do the introduction now with everyone. But I will want to give you the first to do your introduction. So, my beautiful Jeffrey, if I can start with you, can you please introduce yourself and
Sure.
then tell us a little bit about your video that I will be playing in a minute? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sinette. I'm humbled to be here with this esteemed panelists that are joining you today for these 2 hours. So I'm Jeffrey Eberger, and I live in Cape Coral, Florida. I am the CEO and founder of Abundance and Optimum Wellness, where I believe we all should be living in abundance and optimum wellness physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. And I'm really all about sending out and providing value to those individuals who are looking for unique ways to get out of our really broken and corrupt systems in regards to whether it's health or finances, so forth and so on. I was in a very difficult situation back in 2018. My doctor wanted to put me on to a sixth medication, and I said no. And lo and behold, 9 months later, I'm off of all meds, and I'm so much healthier today because I opted to explore holistic options because what they had me on was not working. So I wanted to share that with the world. And I know that plants were put here for a reason. And this video is just to really, the commercial is really just to show about who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you, my beautiful Jeffrey. So your video will be played now. And then when we transition into the next hour, your and Elena's video will play again. And because you are the two are my sponsors, you will also be having a banner in our amazing Diamond Moment magazine coming out the first week in July. So I'm truly excited and I want to say thank you for being my sponsor. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Jeffrey.
Thank you.
My beautiful Elena, can you please introduce yourself and tell us about your video?
Hi everyone, it's Helena here from Cyprus. It's such an honor and privilege to be on this panel with everybody here worldwide. Thank you, Sanet, for giving us this incredible opportunity. I am the founder of Braveheart Breakthrough, and it is all about inspiring and helping those who are ready to face their deepest fears so they can overcome the traumas and the blockages and limitations that's holding them back in life and step into their fullest, truest, unique self so they can use their uniqueness and gifts to be who they truly are and shine their divine light upon the world, which is so needed now. Myself, I'm a survivor of trauma, incest, and domestic violence. And recently this year, I became a co-author of Breaking the Silence, which is what my video is about. So I'm excited to share that with you all tonight. And the message I would like to enforce and share and inspire and encourage is all about that, using our voices, which is an immense power to open doors in our lives and the worlds of others, because it's a vibrational energy. And as we said earlier, positive vibes create positive vibes. And that's what we want, more positivity in our lives and those around us. So thank you.
Wow, Helena, you are such an inspiration. And I don't know if you can remember, but our March summit was all about why is silent, so the code of silence so high. That broke the records at E360 on the most view. And everywhere, so many people have looked at the ladies that went through so much trauma and that survived. So I am truly thankful for you and Jeffrey. Here, I will play Jeffrey's video first. And Jeffrey, your video, your commercial is beautiful. And when I am a little, when I have more knowledge to do this, this is how my commercial, I want my commercials to be. But I am in the practice mode, if I can call it like that. And then I will play Helena's. And then all the guests will be in here. So here we go. Oh wow, your music was so nice. I just wanted to dance. Oh wow. Helena, and here is your video.
Hello, beautiful souls. This is Helena Giorgio, transformational speaker, relationship coach, and co-author of Breaking the Silence, Voice of Survivors. So exciting to introduce this new book, a collaboration of 21 co-authors, all experiencing their difficult journeys through trauma, through adversity, and giving guidance on how to overcome this negativity, the struggles, all through the power of resilience. So I welcome you to order your copy. Go to my website, helenabraveheart.com. Step into your Braveheart power today.
Oh, beautiful, Helena, beautiful. Thank you so much. So All my guests is here. So first of all, I want to say thank you, my beautiful Jeffrey, for introducing yourself and being my sponsor. Thank you, my beautiful Elena, for introducing yourself and being my sponsor. Then if I can go to the next beautiful lady, Laura. Thank you for your contribution. Will you please introduce yourself as to us as well and tell us where you're from? Tell us where you're from. Oh, I'm sorry. I've muted everyone. Just let me unmute you. There you go.
That's okay. Hi, Laura Brennan Ballet, and I am sitting in Connecticut, USA, right between New York and Boston. And what an honor and a privilege. I know we all feel this connection, this human to human connectivity. And Sinette, you really have brought such knowledge and insight into how we can collaborate and really enact change in the world around issues and especially mental health issues. I know we have two very wonderful gentlemen here that are the experts in this field. Shout out to my Randy and my buddy. But thank you. I am a thought energy speaker and an empowerment coach, top selling author of The Science of Empowerment. And every opportunity I get to speak, to share wisdom and new perspectives around how we can use thought energy to live an empowered life. Absolutely, I am there. So just thank you for the opportunity. I'm just honored to be a part of the group.
Wow. Thank you, my beautiful Laura. So, because I have a full house, I can quickly read the shout out to our comments. Krista Rose says, this will be an amazing show. Yes, Crystal, the panel is amazing. I am so excited. And then Kimberly, one of our specialists coming in the second round. It's a pleasure to meet both Elena and Jeffrey today. Thank you so much, Kimberly. And Krista Rose say, wow, love the music. So my beautiful Jeffrey, I think it was your one that because I also wanted to shake my booty. And then Eric says, looking forward to listening in. Thank you so much for the comments, and you are welcome to bring on the comments. I will do a shout out in between. So thank you so much for that, Laura. My beautiful Dr. Alexander, as I call you Ali, can you please introduce yourself and tell us where are you from? Oh, sorry, I've just let me just unmute you. I'm so sorry. There you are. There you are. I will
Thank
make sure to
you.
unmute everyone.
Thank you. I think I could go on for 2 hours just about Sonnet, so I'm not going to do that. But thank you, thank you, thank you for this great opportunity. Just like everyone else said, it's such an honor to be with this esteemed panel for the next 2 hours. I consider myself a global advocate. I help people really step into their power and enhance, themselves to bring out the best in themselves. I own two companies, McDermott Leadership and Pen Crown Publishing. And so, really, my purpose in life is to help people find their purpose in life. And so, I do that through, of course, coaching and then also sharing their messages with the world through my publishing company. So, I do that with, helping them share their message with high impact and leave the legacy they wish to leave in the world. So, thank you very much for having me.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And can I show you something?
Yes. Thank
I
you.
was honored to be in your book compilation, Unstoppable. So that was such an honor for me. Thank you, my beautiful Ali. And then there is a shout out to Laura. Ivory is giving you a shout out, Laura. Glad to be here and see your beautiful faces. And Laura, so thank you so much for that, Ivory. My beautiful Julie, can you please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Hi, everybody. I am Julie Deanne, and I am in Virginia in the United States. It is an honor and a privilege to be joining all of you. And thank you, Sadette, for this amazing show. Every week, every month, you put on such fantastic content. So thank you for bringing this out into the world. I am a transformational life dream builder coach, illumination guide, TEDx speaker, and international best-selling author of my book for kids, Which Would You Choose? And also as an author contributor to the Art of Gratitude series or Art of Connection series, 365 Days of Gratitude, Volume 4. and I love it. My mission is to guide both adults and children to create lives they truly love by learning brave thinking principles so they can design lives they love and create lives they love and thrive. Oh, there's a
Wow.
delay.
I love that. And also, I'm going to have an amazing summit later this year for children, and you definitely will be there. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, my beautiful Julie. So our next, in the next hour, we will have Michael that will come and inspire us, and he is writing to everyone. Everyone looks great. Thank you for uplifting the world. Thank you, my beautiful Michael. My beautiful Randy, can you please introduce yourself to us and tell us where you're from? You're unmuted, Randy. Randy, can you hear me?
I'll send him a message.
Okay. So let me go then to Kelly. Kelly, can you please introduce ourselves? And Kelly, if I think about mental health, Guru, you are my mental health guru. I'm truly honored that you are here today. Please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from. Sorry, Kelly, I cannot unmute you and you are muted. You're still muted. Okay, and it doesn't give me the option to unmute you. Okay, I will be coming back to you. My beautiful buddy, can you introduce yourself to us and tell us where you're from?
Well, Seth, I'm really thrilled to be here, obviously, with this panel. I think everyone echoes that sentiment. But, your visit to my little neck of the woods in Arizona was a very, very special event for my wife and myself. And, I am a multiple international best-selling author. I'm the founder of fightersforhope.org, along with my co-founder, Randy, on the other end of this. And we just aim to work with helping disadvantaged people get through mental health issues and suicide prevention. And of course, I do a lot of other things, including I'm the editor and multiple author in the Art of Connection series, all of the books. And we're currently working on edition 5 on abundance. So everybody jump on board. It's a great compilation series, and just love to be here and share the message.
Oh, wow. Thank you, my beautiful buddy. Let me find out if Randy can hear me now. Randy, can you hear me? Okay, it doesn't sound if Randy can hear me. So I will make a suggestion, Randy. I am going to put you in the back. If you can go out and then come in again, see if we can sort out that. And maybe Kelly, I'm going to see if I can do the same with you, because I don't have any way you're the only one that doesn't have a mute button, so I don't know why. Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to send messages, but
Okay. So let me just put Kelly in the back studio, and then I'm going to quickly, I will talk to them in the back studio. So I see I lost some people as well. But anyway, so my beautiful Elena, can you give us a message? What does mental health means for you?
Vital to me personally, because of my journey of having to overcome my trauma in my midlife. I experienced all those deep emotions, which is related to mental health, going from panic attacks to anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts, abandonment, isolation, all those dark places, that dark spiral that takes us downwards. And often when we're in that place, it's what I call the still point, where there's like no existence. You're there, but you're not there. And for me, that's when I found my my virtual point of being boosted up, and the place where it all came to me, and I got this realization that if we don't reach out and speak about the emotions that we're having with someone we trust, then there's only the other way to go. And I was ready to change that in my life. I was ready to take that step. And that is the crucial point to me in my mental health, is that the time comes where you realize you cannot do it alone, that you need to speak to someone, and someone that you can trust, someone you know that will listen, especially, because that is the key. Is we try to work things out ourselves, but in that state, we dig a hole deeper for ourselves. When we find that beautiful soul that enters our life, I call it our angel, our guardian angel on earth, our earth angel, and they are there to support and listen and guide us. For me personally, it took me about 2 years of deep psychotherapy work as a holistic practitioner, a herbalist. I used all my modalities, which helped keep me off medication. And up until today, I'm still there. So I know it can be done. But it's most importantly, the gifts that I'd like to share is that it takes dedication, daily commitment, and small baby steps. You cannot go from A to Z. It needs to be A, B, C, and sometimes back to B and A, and then up again. And it's all good. It's about just trusting yourself, listening to your body's needs, working with your emotions, and being kind, gentle, and most importantly, compassionate to yourself as you go on this journey. Because change is never easy. The neurons in our brains, in our cells, all hold the memories of the past and the traumas that we've experienced. And it takes a while to change that, and a lot of ups and downs. It's a rocky path. I call it a roller coaster ride. That's how I feel. And it wasn't just one of the one looping stars. No, more like something I imagine in America where you have 2 or 3 or maybe 10 or 9. I don't know, but that's my journey. So for me, I know there are many options available when you go the holistic part. And I've used yoga, I still do today, meditation, breathing, journaling, gratitude. There's so many options, but I won't keep you here all night. So when you're ready to reach out, I have my book that's available now as well, Breaking the Silence. You can get it from my website, helenabraveheart.com, hence the name Braveheart Breakthrough Expert, which is my latest brand. And it's all about stepping into that Braveheart space that we all hold deep within ourselves. But often through trauma, it gets misguided, it gets fogged up, and we need to kind of wipe and wax to get it clear again. And eventually you get there, you do. And for me, the key is when you can forgive yourself and forgive those who have harmed you or have added to your mental state on your path, and look at them through the eyes of compassion, then you know you have healed. Then you can step into that space of being the aid and the guide and the supporter and the inspiration for others in the world, so you can help them on their path. Because together we can do so much. Alone we can do so little. So thank you for this opportunity.
You just gave me goosebumps here in my neck up all the way. So I just wanted to tell you, my beautiful Helena, Krista Rose, say, what a great video. Wow. Love just trusting yourself. I have to remember that. And Kimberly said, thank you for sharing your heart, Helena. I know that you have to go a little bit earlier. Is there 1 or 2 tips that you can bestow on the viewers out there that you feel is the most 2 important or 3 important message or tips that you can give them?
Absolutely. What a pleasure. Thank you. So firstly, I would say is breaking the silence. When you're in that space and you're in that silent place of isolation, when you're sitting in your silence and your mind and thoughts are being your worst enemies, you need to kind of stand up and grab that sword, the Braveheart power that I talk about, and say, enough's enough. Slay those dragons, slay those demons, and step out of that space that's working against you instead of for you. It can be done to move from the space of illusion, of limitations and not being good enough and all that downward spiraling into the space of the realm of truth of who you really are, that you are more than enough, more than capable. So that's the first, is breaking the silence, and then having the courage to commit to yourself on a daily basis through the ups and downs, and know that you're doing your best every day. Some days you're going to be flying, some days you're going to really be down, some days you'll be mediocre. Whatever it is, you're doing great, so keep at it. Don't give up. And thirdly, it's about using your voice, knowing that is such a unique key to your being. It's your unique vibration. And for so many centuries, it goes back to our ancestral lineage that we have been silenced and not able to use that power. But now the time is for us to step into that with pure, loving, heartfelt intentions and use it for positive change, for loving change, for kindness, compassion, to step into that new unity consciousness where all is possible.
Oh, wow.
Thank
you, my beautiful Elena. You are welcome to stay a little bit longer. And when you're ready, you can just wave for us. But thank you so much for being here. You are amazing. And thank you again for being my sponsor. So let me bring in my guest that left us. Jeffrey is back, and Kelly. And then I just quickly want to see if I can get Randy's attention. There's Randy is in. My beautiful Kelly, can you introduce yourself?
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Oh!
The love, the live TV, it happens. So, my name is Kelly Melissa Reinhart. I am the founder of the nonprofit called Make Mental Health Matter. I started in 2018 after I lost my middle sister to a completed suicide in 2017. I am also a host on E360 TV, so I love coming on to Sinette's show and just being with some really incredible people here. And thank you, Sinette, I could hear you. You just couldn't hear me before. So you pop out and pop back in, and that's what happens with live TV. So you just roll with it.
Thank you so much, my beautiful Kelly. And Randy, can we hear you now, my beautiful Randy?
Yes, I can hear you guys. I didn't know what was going on. I'm just looking at a screen. I see beautiful faces, and I thought we were just having an eye staring contest. So I just went along with it.
But, thank you, Laura, for typing for Randy. Randy, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Randy Blake. I'm a 5-time world champion kickboxer and Muay Thai specialist. I've been involved in martial arts pretty much my whole life, 30 plus years. And I'm really making a pivotal point in my life right now. And I'm becoming a goal success life coach. And I help build champions. And I'm partnering up with my mentor, Buddy. I heard him kind of introduce me a little bit, but Buddy is my Mr. Miyagi. So we're partnering together, and we're taking on this journey on building champions and attacking mental health and kicking it right in the face. So I'm happy to be on this show with you guys, and I look forward to what's to come. Back to you, Sinette.
Amazing. Thank you, Randy. So my beautiful viewers out there, Laura, Randy, Buddy, and Kelly will be the full 2 hours with us. The rest of my guests has a tag team. They will be talking this first, and then they will tag and their relay partner at the end. So I'm going to go over to Ali, Dr. Alexander now, and ask Please, can you tell us what mental health means for you?
Sure. And I've spoken before, Sinette, of course, on your shows about a lot of things that are important with respect to mental health. And today I wanted to bring something a little bit different in terms of research. And everybody who knows me knows I'm always going to come with research, right? I think that's the attorney and professor side of me. But, I want people to remember a couple of things. First and foremost, I want to start with I statements. So if you're ever feeling, positive mindset is huge. I've talked about this before as well. We are genetically wired to come from a negative bias. It's evolutionary, right? It's the fight or flight, caveman, cavewoman, right? If we know that, we can change it, right? But there's actually newer research from Megan Spear from 2021 that says that memories are adaptive, right? And everybody's sort of shaking their head, right? So if we have a negative memory, we can actually change that into more of a positive experience, right? And that's through CBT and stuff like that. So I want to do I statements with folks. I'm not alone. I'm loved and I am enough, right? And so, I want to just start there first and foremost. So, if you know that memories are adaptive and you can change them into more positive experiences, then when you recall those memories and you reframe, then you can go back and they're more positive for you. So, B is believe in yourself. I can't talk about that without talking about FOMO and fear of missing out, right? So, with the uptick of social media and everything that we're experiencing, FOMO actually goes back to 2004. That was a term phrased way, way, way back then. And so, researchers on that are Gupta and Sharma. And so, what I want people to really think about, though, is we're not going to give up social media, right? No one's giving that up. But it definitely has had a huge impact on our mental health. So, it decreases our connectedness, it actually impacts how we feel about ourselves. So, what can we do? Well, we need to look at the value of our connections, right? So, how can we actually have more inspired connections? What we're doing here is a perfect example. So, can we create coffee chats? Can we look at folks who we can connect to, who can bring into our lives more joy, right? So, what can we do with respect to that? And then, of course, energy. We want to make sure that we surround ourselves with people who support us, right? Our vision for a beautiful life. So look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. You're the 6th, right? Do they support you? Are they going to help you achieve your goals, right? If they don't, you're going to have to make changes to those people. T, of course, is take time and count your blessings. And of course, Helena talked a lot about gratitude. Gratitude actually changes your brain, and there is research on that. So count your blessings. Say, I love you. Say, I thank you. Say, thank you. Make sure that the folks you connect to hear that too, right? So every single night before I go to bed, I send text messages, I call people. That changes their outlook too, right? So you're changing the world by just literally sending a text, and it's huge. Sorry, I have my little mnemonic. O stands for own your purpose. Purpose is huge. So in the research, and it's crazy because it's kind of all over the board, between 10 and 25% of people know their purpose in life. But 87% of people believe that they were put on this earth for a reason. And we know that if you know your purpose, then it leads to a life of joy. That's a huge gap, right? So if you don't know your purpose in life, you may or may not lead to a life of joy. That's kind of scary. But I want people to reframe that and think of it like this. If you want to experiment with a bunch of different fun things, right? That can be really exciting, right? To find your purpose in life. So go out, enjoy a bunch of different things. The other thing that I'd like to tell people if I was kind of in an elevator with someone, I would say, what gets you not to hit the snooze button in the morning? What invigorates you? So if you're thinking about work or career, when do you get to go to work instead of have to go to work? N is we need to learn to ask for support and help from others. So we are human beings. We crave connectedness. You're not alone. So this is who we are as human beings, right? And again, we need to look at the value of our connections. We need to make sure we're surrounding ourselves with the people we need the most. M, map out your vision for your life. You've got to know who you are, where you're going, and what you're doing. And marshal your 5 people again who are going to hold you accountable. These are not just yes people, right? You want people to surround who you want to surround yourself with who are going to tell you no. That's not the right direction, right? Not just your yes people. And then of course your environment. When you experience ups and downs, we all will, we all do. Go outside, change your environment, pet a dirty dog. I love dogs, so I'm going to say that, right? So, but literally change your environment. There are neurochemicals in our brains. One of my favorites is oxytocin. You can literally holistically change the chemicals in your brain. So, even faking a smile will do it. So, that's what I have to share, Sinette. I hope that wasn't too much.
Well, no, that was amazing, amazing. And I don't know, I know, Laura, maybe you've got your glasses, but I just want to say that was amazing, amazing. And I have goosebumps. I have a few messages before going to Julie. Thank you so much, my beautiful Dr. Alexandra. Um, um, Ivory said, former martial artist, Randy, for you. Kimberly said, your mission is amazing, Randy. And then Kimberly said, yes, we can reframe our past, which ultimately change our present moment. I appreciate your message, Dr. Alexander, Dr. McDermott. So thank you so much for that. My beautiful Julie, let me just unmute yourself. You're unmuted. Tell us what mental health means for you.
Sanette, mental health is everything, right? Because everybody knows thoughts are energy and everything starts with a thought. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza says, and Dr. Ali mentioned it, those I statements, anything we repeat becomes a belief. So you just have to choose the things that you want in your life. And when you start to repeat it and you start to actually feel that in the body and integrate it, and the more you repeat it, the more it does. It changes your state. So there's 2 key ways for me that help people really regain some sort of control, but feel more confident with their mental health and get centered and present in the body. And the number one thing is, Elena kind of mentioned it. She said meditation. Yes, but it's breath work, breathing, when we take the deep, slow belly breaths. So it's actually been scientifically proven the number one way to instantly calm the body down is by inhaling deeply from the lower belly and then exhaling for longer than you inhale. Because this difference of inhaling and then exhaling for a little bit longer, it sends a powerful signal to your brain that you are safe. So that takes you out of the fight or flight sympathetic nervous system and puts you into the parasympathetic nervous system, our rest, digest, create mode, so that we can actually observe those thoughts and then start to decide, how do we want to respond in the world instead of just reacting out of fear to whatever pops up. And then the second thing, and you guys all hit on it, the switch and number one way to instantly change any situation and turn that negative spiral that's going down, start to stop it and make it go upward, is gratitude. Simply by finding something, anything to feel grateful for in the moment, in that situation, and then holding on to that for dear life, and then growing it and finding more things to feel grateful for. It's just like they were saying, if you just express gratitude every night before you go to bed and every morning, first thing when you wake up, you are setting yourself up for an awesome day and a great night's sleep. And it becomes a state of being, because that's what we are. We are human beings. We are humans constantly becoming. Everything is in motion, right? Everything is constantly evolving. So the power of mental health, the power of choosing those thoughts and choosing to say, I no longer want to feel like this. I no longer choose to be in these situations is a key first step. You have to decide it and then take one small action. And every day, what can I do with what I have from where I am right now? and then you take that step. And that's how
That's
it's done.
amazing. So Crystal said this is like a strong point, choosing what to think instead of changing your state. But you made it actually so easy. I've got a button that I got from Giovanna from in New York, and
That was easy.
that was really
Thank you.
that was easy. So, anytime, my beautiful viewers out there, anytime.
Oh, it's
What's
not doing
happened? Oh, I don't know what I did now. Did I maybe? I,
There it goes.
That was easy.
that was so easy because you actually gave them a beautiful step. If you ever have this situation that you don't know where to go, stop, breathe, have more longer out breaths than in breaths, and then say, look in your life what you can be thankful for. That was incredible. Thank you so much, my beautiful Julie. I'm going to go to Jeffrey, and after Jeffrey, I will be going to Kelly, Laura, and then the two champions, Randy and Buddy. But Jeffrey, can you please tell us what mental health means for you? Let me just unmute you. I'm so sorry. You
I'm already
unmuted.
unmuted.
Yeah.
I'm already unmuted. So yes, thank you. So mental health, what does it mean to me? My journey actually started about 6.5 years ago. In June of 2018, it was an unleashed transformational journey start. And my doctor wanted, as I mentioned earlier, my doctor wanted to put me on the 6th medication. And because I was just getting worse, and I was wondering, why am I not getting better? Why am I not getting better? Why did they keep adding medications? And when I said no to that 6th medication, that's when I took control. That's when I became the CEO of my own life. And in regards to my health, and choosing a holistic lifestyle became a game changer over these years. And what I learned is the significance of how our microbiome, which is our gut, brain, heart axis health, stands in regards to and how it plays a key role to our overall physical, mental, and emotional well-being. And this is learning about this unique system that we all have, and it's becoming more pronounced in different areas, not so much in Western medicine, but with learning this and making some changes, it allowed me to reverse my type 2 diabetes, come off of 5 medications, lose 60 pounds, and reverse decades of stress, anxiety, and depression that was at a 10 plus down to a level 1. And it's been at a level 1 since 2019. Learning about this for me has been basically the idea of our foods, what are we putting into our mouths? And through my research, I have found that there's over 10,000 chemical preservatives that are in our foods today. And I did research on 25, and then I stopped because every one of them, the side effects are stress, anxiety, depression, suicidal tendencies. So why are these medications, and why are these the preservatives being put into our foods? And this has been a major contributor to, my overall mental well-being and the progress, my journey, and really watching what foods that we are consuming, on a daily basis, because I stand by mental fitness is the new physical fitness today, or mental health is the new physical health today. You have to have that mindset. And once you clean the gut up with all the bad bacteria and all the garbage that's in there, the communication between the gut and the brain open up, and it goes through the vagus nerve, which is the largest nerve connection nerve in the body that communicates with all the organs. And we have one body temple, and it's our responsibility to treat it the way it's supposed to be treated. Now, I always say I'm not 100% against Western medicine. It has its time and place. I'm the first to raise a hand when I'm passing a kidney stone. Give me the morphine. But I did not need to be on metformin for 25 years. I didn't need to be on all these other medications for all those years. And it's about really getting to the root cause. The root cause. Where is this stuff stemming from? And there's a tendency that, today it's all about managing illness and not managing wellness. We need to get back to the basics. Plants were put here for a reason. And we need to get back to the basics and utilizing the attributes and the benefits of these amazing things that were put here by who. And this has excited me in regards to my journey over 6 years. And it has really, branched me off into many, many different things. And today, as a certified holistic coach, I'm taking a finance first approach to achieving all-encompassing personal well-being by embracing new ways to wealth in the modern world. And wealth doesn't mean finances. Wealth is physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial. It's a combination of all. And when we can embrace all of those and grow from a holistic perspective, I think that I'm experiencing, I know other people are experiencing it. And people need to, really, I'm encouraging people to step out into their uncomfortable zone and get informed, get educated, because the world is changing and people need to be more aware of the true state of affairs that are out there and make changes if they want to have a better life. So thank you.
Wow, that's amazing. I just wanted to say to all my viewers out there, everywhere I've advertised and on E360 show notes, you are welcome to follow and connect with any of my guests. All of their details and how to connect with them are on everywhere that was advertised. So thank you so much for that, Jeffrey. I'm going to go to Kelly. Thank you, my beautiful Kelly. Can you, and I know you are my expert, can you tell us what mental health means for you?
Well, I appreciate that. And I think everybody on here is so knowledgeable. I think the one thing that comes to my head really, and kind of like Jeffrey, my journey began about 6 years ago after I lost my sister, and I had no idea how to help her. I wasn't educated, and I started getting certifications and getting educated and really understanding what leads people to complete the act of suicide. And what I found is that generally, not always, but generally, a mental health challenge is what leads people to take that act. But also understanding mental health, it's our brain. We all have a brain. We all have mental health, but not all of us have a mental health disorder or challenge or illness or dis-ease, whatever you want to call it. I call it challenge. That word for me, it works much, much better. And so it's really important. And like everybody is saying, your mental health is just as important as your physical health. We should be talking about our mental health just like we do our physical health. There's no reason that we shouldn't. And again, we all can experience a mental health challenge at any time in our lives. It doesn't have to be severe. It could be as simple as depression or anxiety or something smaller, I guess, if you think about like the big disorders that we talk about. And so I think the important part of that is, and I love that everybody's talking about how the brain functions and how our bodies function with our brain and all of these self-care strategies that we can do at any point in time throughout our lives. Because I also, Dr. Alex was starting to allude into like the point that I love to give everybody about your mental health is a simple smile. So I call it your brain's happy juices. That's what I call your endorphins, your serotonin, your dopamine. And so when we always have our mouth with us. Like that's the best part is it's always on our face and attached to us. So we can do it at any point in time. So simply smiling. I mean, this is definitely a fake it till you make it. Right? It's easy. Like, fake it till you make it. If you are having the worst day of your life, right? Like, notice your posture. Are you like down? I call it the Eeyore syndrome. The nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I'm gonna go eat worms. So, are you like having that posture? Are you thinking those thoughts? If you are, I promise you, like, start looking up. Look up at the sky, smile, fake it till you make it, do the cheesy Joker smile, as I call it. And that naturally and scientifically releases your brain's happy juices. Breath work. I love that that was also mentioned. We always have our breath with us. You're going to breathe, but you can intentionally do deeper or longer breath, which will calm down your nervous system. And there is a specific vagus nerve breath exercise that I learned actually from one of my guests that came on my show. So there's so many different breathing exercises that you can do and find the one that works for you. So I do love to say we all experience things differently. My experience is going to be very different from your experience. We could literally be in the same exact experience and we will experience different. What works for me may not work for you, and vice versa. So find that thing that really, really works for you and roll with it. But I promise you, as you start to shift from negative to positive, you will start to notice that your body and your mind follows you. And really, again, my one single easy tip with the easy button is smiling, because it's scientifically been proven, or dance like Sinette does. Come watch a show and dance.
Yeah, Kelly, here for you.
That was easy.
I love that. I love that. Because sometimes when your brain is all over the show and you are really not in a good space, you cannot even think something as simple as a smile, or, like Julie said, breathe. And gratitude can help. Thank you so much, my beautiful Kelly. Laura, can you please tell us what mental health means for you?
Yes, well, I know Sinette, Randy, and Buddy are already hearing my brain activating. There's 1,000 points of knowledge and information that I just want to share. Just so many beautiful modalities, tools, and techniques. So I'm going to challenge the listeners that information is beautiful and it can be empowering only if we apply it. So if something resonated from one of the panelists that really feels like home or feels a little more comforting when we are going through a mental challenge, to grab onto that and really start to apply it in your life. Because once we become knowledge based, now we can empower our life. And when we really are living an empowered life, now we get to make choices that can help elevate those mental challenges. So I'm going to come in a little bit backwards here, and I'm going to come in with my 3 tips. One of them is you are not the experience. You are not the experience. Now, we are not primed or educated when we are children to understand that we really have the ability to step out of the experience and observe it. Because when we're so tender and innocent and we're really up against a negative environment, we just don't have the skill set to really step out of the physicality and the sensation and the mind-body connection that really becomes unwired or rewired incorrectly. But as we become more educated and more skilled in our life through books and podcasts and listening to experts, we can really move into my second point, which is the power seat of choice. And we can venture out into the world and we can listen, we can read, we can begin to create an environment that is open and that places us in that power seat of choice. It is not without challenge, but it is absolutely fundamental that you know It is your birthright. It is coded in your DNA to tap in and tune in to that level of potential that exists in you. And regardless of those outside conditions, do not give that power for your entire life to someone else. And it can be through forgiveness and therapies and all the modalities that are shared here. But please remind yourself, it is in you to choose how you relate to these past experiences that really have created such a negative environment. And really to understand that you can recalibrate the story. The story becomes this belief, and then this belief moves into a pattern. The pattern becomes the habit, and then the habit becomes the personality. And then we just become so driven as a walking algorithm of someone else's input or onput to what we've experienced. So I really just want to remind you that you are an empowered human being. And though we have all gone through some tragedy and some abuses and some challenges that have actually caused our mental health to become dysregulated. There are people in this world, and right here and the second hour, you have people who will answer the call. We will help you. We will find a way to support you when something feels off center. You are not alone. And I'm also going to ask everyone to research Dr. Emoto and his water experiment. I've written about this in the Science of Empowerment. There was a reason why, through 5 years of research and data and science, both standard and new sciences, why I chose this as an example. We are made up of water. We are fluid. We are energy in motion. And when we speak to ourselves in such an ill-mannered way, and we do not choose to speak to ourselves with kindness and love and forgiveness, when we cannot create almost an environment that shelters us from some of these hardships, we end up becoming very fragmented and distorted. And so when you watch this experiment and you see what love and gratitude and peace and forgiveness and support and the structure of the element of water and how it becomes these beautiful artistic visuals of what it means to be kind to ourselves and therefore one another. And then you look at the other side of the experiment when the negativity comes in and they get completely muddled and they become dark and brown and black. And it shows you that thought energy actually has direct causation on our physicality, on our spirituality, and on our consciousness. So please talk to yourself as if you are already healed, that you are already connected to that divine force, whether it's God energy, universal energy, sciences, knowledge, information. Tune into that part of you and begin to nurture and reach out for help, because there is a community that will support you and help elevate and empower you. And thank you.
Wow. I really said thank you so much, Laura. And my beautiful guest, I have now also put in your email or your connection point on the site for everybody to see, because we will not be able to go around and ask for your golden nuggets or you to tell us how to connect with you. So my beautiful Dr. Ali, I want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for always giving us something, hope, and something to hold on to. What I would ask you, if you can give us that acronym on the YouTube channel, and if you can put it on there, and then I will also make sure to send it to the E360 so that I can put it up there somewhere so that I can also can see. And then my beautiful Judy, thank you for your beautiful way of talking. You have a way to, when somebody is talking to you, to feel like you've been hugged. So you have hugged us. Thank you so much. You are truly amazing. And you are coming more to the shows in the future as well. And then Laura, Buddy, Randy, and Kelly, you are staying on. We will continue with Buddy and Randy when we come back. But I quickly just want to go to Jeffrey and say thank you so much, my beautiful Jeffrey, for being here. I'm going to play your video again to say thank you for your sponsorship. Can you just tell us the reason why you felt that you wanted to sponsor this amazing show today?
Sure. Mental health is very, very special to me, and it resonates because I am also a survivor of childhood molestation, chemical dependency, and am a survivor of 2 attempted suicides. So I relate to, every wonderful piece of information and stories that are shared by the panelists here today, and can't wait to see, the next ones that are going to be coming on board. But it is something, we talk about mental health. May is Mental Health Month here in the United States. I think it is globally. However, I truly believe it should be a 365-day awareness. And we need to be aware of mental health. We need to be comfortable talking about it because there was such a stigma on this for many, many decades, especially when I was growing up, because men don't cry. Well, we have feelings. We do cry, and I say real men cry. And the stigma is breaking, which is awesome. But when I was a kid, it wasn't around. So it's better late than never as I look at it. And there's a lot of room for improvement, and more education is needed, more awareness, and more empathy towards these individuals who are really suffering. So, but any chance I get it to be present on a show like this or a platform, I'm truly, truly humbled and enjoy hearing from other like-minded people as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my beautiful Jeffrey. And then Ali, Julie, and Jeffrey, you can, I think, Ali, you don't have a rewrite partner, but the rest, you can just tell your partners they can come in. I'm going to play Jeffrey's video. Thank you, Jeffrey. Okay, I don't know why it stopped, but let me just continue. I don't know if it was my internet that is like, it's almost like you want, what is that rap music? My beautiful Buddy and Randy, now we all over to you. So let me start with you, Randy. Please tell us what mental health means for you.
Yeah, is my audio good? Because I'm still
Yes,
kind of
audio is good.
going
You're
in and
welcome
out.
to go ahead.
So,
Yes.
okay. Yeah, so mental health means to me the world, especially now. My life has been kind of a roller coaster from early childhood. And I didn't really know what it meant back then, but I have a clear understanding of it now. Just a couple years ago, I've experienced, loss of friends, loss of, really close martial artists that I've grew up with, people who have influenced me to become the martial artist that I am today. And just come to find out, I meet a guy named Buddy Thornton, and we hop on a podcast together, and it was about bullying. and I had talked about myself being bullied, and I wanted to fix bullying and the mental health aspects of suicide. And we partnered up, and we're on this journey today. And so it means for me, I want to do the right thing. If I can do anything, because I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't have the knowledge and the expertise. I don't have the background of what we're doing. But if I can just be, a person who can stand in front of you and talk and give something and just stand up for what's right and fight the good fight, that's why I'm here. And that's what mental health means to me.
Wow, Randy, I must just tell you, I don't know why I wanted to cry. But you and Buddy have such a big mission because you're actually going to the youth and you are
Yeah.
talking to the youth. I just
Yeah.
want to say thank you for the both of you for doing that. I am going to ask, thank you, Randy. I'm going to ask Buddy to please tell us what mental health means for you. In the meanwhile, I'm going to bring Michael in as well. After Buddy, it's going to be Kimberly and then Michael. And then I'm switching back to Kelly because I wanted to ask her about a nonprofit. So, Buddy, please, can you introduce yourself? Oh, sorry, Buddy. Buddy, can you please tell us what mental health means for you?
My my journey with the mental health world began more than 50 years ago. Since I'm 70 and I'm a Vietnam era veteran, a lot of people don't understand some of the things that we went back through back then because they're just not, they don't have any way to know. They weren't alive back then. But the last year that I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy, what I did was I took care of the boys who came back from the war who were, to say it the easiest way, completely messed up. And they were messed up in a lot of different ways. And most of their problems, whether it was drug abuse, alcohol addiction, whatever it was, almost always circled back to mental health issues. A lot of them were very, very, they had a barrier that they had to overcome. And because in the 60s and 70s, especially, the word was stigma was the preferred choice. Nobody wanted to talk to you about your problems. Nobody wanted to admit that you had problems. Then when we fast forward 30 years, 12 years ago, my older brother, who was a Navy SEAL during Vietnam, died after 30 years of PTSD, after being in and out of care facilities for 3 decades. And there were other instances, other situations. Over my entire lifetime, I've probably lost a minimum of a dozen people to suicide. And so, there's just overwhelming burden that just keeps piling up on you. Well, if back in 2014, I decided, you know what, I'm going to get more education. I only had my bachelor's degree in life choice education. Again, that keyword choice everyone keeps bringing up here. And so I decided to get my master's, and I did a 2-year program in basically 10 months, really put myself on hyperspeed, and I just worked my way through it because I wanted to help people. And then I approached my doctorate from the same mentality. Let's get the doctorate. Let's get out there. Let's have the alphabet soup behind us to open some doors. But the most important thing was to create a message. So I circled around one very important thing. It's called choice theory, and that's by Dr. William Glasser. Now, he's no longer with us, but he used choice theory in psychoanalysis to help people overcome mental health. That was his entire job for 5 decades. That's what he did. And so while I was getting my doctorate, I developed a offshoot of that called choice dynamics and my 4-pillar system. And what it did was it helped people understand that you are enough. The only person who has to validate you is you. You cannot live your life to be validating other people's idea of you. You shouldn't be living to other people's expectations. My 4 pillars, my life, self-care, self-identity, understanding who you are, how important you are, that nothing else is more relevant. Teach that there's always an invisible partner in the room, and it's called a relationship. So if you're having a problem with somebody else, if you honor the relationship in the room, it helps you get through that conflict. Well, what if you're the only person in that room? You still have to have a relationship with yourself. So if you honor your own relationship with yourself, and you give yourself permission to be a much better you. It helps you get through those dark times, because darkness is the enemy of the light. And we all know that when you smile or when you engage with other people meaningfully, it does kick in all of your endorphins. It does allow you to uplift yourself. The second pillar in my world is developing your voice. If you work really hard on how to really project yourself in a positive way, it's hard to fall to the negative side. And the third pillar is passion. What are you really passionate about? If you are not passionate enough about something to cling to it with your feet, your fingers, your teeth, and everything else while you're going down with the Titanic, it's not a passion. It's just an interest. It's just something you might like, but your passion is something you have to have at your core. And then the final thing is just learning how to make proper choices. Now, one of the choices that's starting to emerge in today is the removal of that stigma effect. But when Randy came to me and said, I'm really challenged because one of the people in a local club committed suicide, what can we do about that? I asked him one very important question. I said, will you commit the rest of your life to helping solve this problem? And completely unabashedly and without hesitation, he said, absolutely, if you will teach me and bring me along. So, we created Fighters for Hope. It's a foundation. It's a coalition of actually 15 different leaders around the country. And we are putting on programs. We are uplifting people. But what we're doing is we're knocking down the barrier of stigma. We're teaching people that it is more empowering to say, I do have a problem, as opposed to, no, I don't want to be shamed, blamed, or judged because I do have a problem. And that's our story. That will never change. No matter what Randy and I do 5 years from now, if you ask me the same question, that's the answer I'm going to give you. We are going to keep trying to knock down the barrier of the stigma of allowing mental health and suicide ideation beat you down until you understand that there are people there who are there to just listen, just be there. And that's something I learned over 50 years ago, sitting at the bedside of young men who had come back from a war that was extremely unpopular. They never got thanked for being in that war. They felt like they were the trash of our society. And to this day, a lot of them still commit suicide because they've never recovered. So we need to understand that mental health is at the core of suicide. And if we can approach it from that position, that everyone matters, and the best thing you can ever do is just say the 3 love language words of mental health: talk to me. That's the 3 love language words: talk to me. And then take the time to sit there and listen. Will it take an hour? Will it take a day? Will it take a week? I don't care. You stay there until you have to. And that's my message.
Wow. Buddy, it was amazing. Jeffrey say he cannot wait for our second session, but then he gave you something, buddy. He said, great information shared, buddy. Fighters for Hope sounds amazing. Removing the stigma around mental health is critical and so needed. Talk to me. Oh, I just put in the magical word is talk to me. Wow. You are amazing. You and Randy are amazing. I love it, said Jeffrey. Talk to me. Thank you, my beautiful buddy and beautiful Randy, for what you are doing. My beautiful Kimberly, you have just joined us, you and Michael. Please introduce yourself and then I will circle back to you. I'm going to introduce yourself, Kimberly, and then Michael, and then I'm circling to Kelly, and then go to Laura, and then I will be coming back to you, Kimberly, to ask what is your thought on mental health. So Kelly, Kimberly, I'm so sorry, Kimberly, will you please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from? Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me just unmute you. There you go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kimberly Lechnick. I am tuning in here from Chicago, and it is an absolute pleasure. And if I get a minute in a little bit, I'll tell you why this is so divine. Just absolutely divine that I'm here. But I'm a love coach. I'm a love coach coming alongside professional women. I'm passionate about personal development, and I do that through exactly that, personal development and self-discovery. So it is just wonderful to be here again, divine. And I do too, listening to everyone today is just such a blessing. Just such a blessing. And I will just end here with, I was thinking about Randy. I knew Randy's mission. I didn't know Buddy's connection to the mission itself. And so I do know what Randy had shared about his experience as a young man. So as I was listening to everyone empower, I was thinking about this little boy named Sammy Touche. So if you haven't heard Sammy's story, I encourage you to look it up. He was a little 10-year-old boy in Indiana. And he just had a beautiful smile, a beautiful heart, and his peers bullied him to death. So it's so important. And I feel that my being connected, Sinette, so thank you so much for the invitation, is nothing short of divine. So
Thank you. Thank you, my beautiful Kimberly. I will circle back to you. My beautiful Michael, please introduce yourself and tell us where you're from. Oh, I'm standing here like a pillar. I should unmute you. Sorry.
Hi again. Hey, Sinette, thanks for the invite, and hi, everybody. So Michael LeBlanc, I'm actually in South Louisiana, Lafayette, Louisiana. And, my journey into mental health was I was miserable, and I believed there was something else possible. And that was for me. And I was going to be a priest at one point in my life, and then I was gay, and it's like the Bible's so. I like spirituality. I'm not really religious. So I had a moment of wisdom in my 20s and decided not to be a priest, but I had friends who were going to social work, and I was like, I can care about people and help people then and that way. So that was in 1987. But as I went to grad school, I knew I was miserable. I was depressed. I was anxious. I dealt with chronic anxiety. So I kind of went into therapy for myself. And so really today I have what I call 4 lines of influence. I am a licensed social worker. I'm certified in Reiki. Been doing alternative healings for a long time. I'm an author. I have 3 books of my own. I'm featured in 5 others. One of them is a Joe Vitale book. I teach workshops and master classes off of my own books, but I also had a whole corporate career in international consulting and training for like Chevron, ExxonMobil, doing leadership with those folks. I do one-on-ones, and I do energy-centered meditations. So it's really about tuning into the energy of solutions and the divine versus the energy of problems. And my 4th level of influence, a couple of my books feature my garden photography, and I just got the idea of creating an online store using my photography to create uplifting gifts and stuff. So those are my 4 kind of ways I bring energy and uplift in the world. So,
and
thank you.
Michael, let me just find out where is that coming from. Michael, you are such a special person to me. You have done so many meditations for the Diamond Beauties, for the Tanzanite Euros, for Money Matters. Just think, and you done it. And you are going to do a 5 minutes meditation for us also almost to the end. So I will just make sure to look at the time and make sure that you bring that in. My beautiful Kelly, can you tell us about your non-profit? And I just want to quickly unmute you before. Yes, you unmuted. You're welcome to go ahead.
Absolutely. I realized that I didn't even hardly tell anything about myself at first. But my nonprofit is called Make Mental Health Matter, formerly known as BCC Evolution. We actually are shifting currently, so you'll see a little mixture of both. We give you the tools, the information, and the resources. So I wasn't educated before my sister passed, and that's what I decided that I needed to give back to the world, because we can have everyday people like you and I that can help those in need, so that we can start to fill that gap in between when they start to show signs of a mental health challenge up to the point that they can get professional help. And that was a gap that we were losing the most people to suicide. And so that's where I saw that we had this need. And so we get you educated, we teach you how to be empowered to have these hard, tough, courageous conversations. And then those that are struggling, we get you connected into resources, trusted resources that are going to be helpful and not hurtful. And we're based out of Colorado, but we have programs that are really nationwide and maybe eventually international.
I would love that international part as well. I have done yesterday my 451 coffee chat in 2 years and 3 months. There's a lot of loneliness out there. There's a lot. There's a lot of, especially ladies, that are not seen. Although they are in a marriage, they're not seen. They're not heard. So if you can do that international, and we need to see how we can do that, because there's so many more that need you and your nonprofit and your amazing wisdom on mental health. So thank you so much for that, Kelly. I am going to come back to you. Eric says Fighters for Hope is an amazing organization which will make a lasting impact. And then Jeffrey says, make mental health matter. Yes. So my beautiful Laura, can you tell us what are you doing to help people with mental health, please?
Yes. Well, again, for our tribe that we hang, I'm not going to say anything at the moment because it's still in the works, but I am getting ready to have conversations with Randy and Buddy. Getting to the youth has been something that really matters to me. When I first ventured into writing The Science of Empowerment and creating all of this thought, energy, awareness around living into our potential, I felt like I had to get to the grown-ups first. But however, so many of our little ones, just as Kimberly just shared, we're missing something. As parents, as facilitators, as educators, as church leaders, however you want to look at it, something is amiss that these young children feel that it is okay to treat another human being to this degree, that it moves this energy for this person to take their own life. So I think really working with our youth in various capacities, and we all have, for me, information and knowledge, but true gifts that we can share in our own unique way that really just fill out this space. As you were saying, Sanette, we have women that just feel just unheard and beaten down, and they just are going through the motions. We have children that have been abused. We've all gone through our own thought process around mental challenges. So for me, continuing to empower the mindset of every human being that I come into contact with, and whether it's through books, and now I'm really exploding out and speaking around the world and creating knowledge around how we can tap into our potential, and specifically empowering our youth to recalibrate that negative energy and use it to empower one another and create these communities and tribes of our youth where they are thinking greater than they feel, where they are inspired and elevated and actually ignited to do something with their thinking and their behaviors that support a future rather than detract away from it. So every opportunity I can, just to bring my unique way of looking at thought energy and empowerment into what other people are doing, and add that dimension around empowering the process of mental health elevation. So thank you.
Wow, thank you, Laura. You are amazing. I am bringing Barry back in. I want to quickly ask Randy. Randy, do you have an example, or it's for us to share where you really had an impactful crowd, but under the youth, that really inspire the youth to rethink at a few things? Can you tell us a story for an example of that? Okay, let me just make sure you're unmuted. Sorry, Randy. Okay, you can talk, Randy. Okay. Randy, can you hear me? Buddy, can you tell us if you is an experience like that?
Yeah, let me. Can you hear me? Okay.
I can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So let me share a video that Randy made of an event where he was talking with a crowd of school-age children. And before the event started, there was this one young man. He was the smallest kid in the room. And Randy, I don't know if he targeted him or not, but the kid was very quiet and he was very reserved. And Randy walked over and he made a little plan with him. And so once the event got started, he called this young man out and he said, you know, I'm pretty imposing. I'm really big. You want to fight me? And the kid was like, oh yeah, I can take you down. I can take you down. And
Buddy?
yes.
Yes, you can continue.
And so, to make a long story short, this kid kicked Randy, and Randy did his little spin around, and then he fell to the floor, and the kid ran over, and he dove on top of his chest, and he tapped 1, 2, 3, and Randy's like, yeah, see, no matter who you are, you can be a champion. You can always be a champion. And that resonates with me because Randy did the one thing that we teach. Always find the place where the other person is. Don't ask them to come where you are. Go where they are, because you're never going to get them out of their own zone. You need to be willing to dive into anybody's pit of horror and bring them back out with you. That's important, and that's what Randy did that day.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you, my beautiful Randy. You are truly amazing. And I hope you can hear us, because we could not hear you. But my beautiful ones, for me, having a chat with so many people the last 2.5 years, people are comparing themselves with other people. Then I will tell people, you are in the beginning of your race, of your business, or your solo entrepreneur, and you're comparing yourself to somebody that is doing it for 8-10 years, that is in the middle or end of their journey, and then you put yourself down because you're not there. So I love that, Randy, that you met that little one at his um, way of thinking. I love it. You are amazing. So I'm going to go to Kimberly now. Kimberly, you unmuted. Can you please tell us what mental health means for you?
Absolutely. While I was listening, oh my gosh, so powerful. I have tears coming from my eyes. Laura, that was powerful, what you just shared. And you know, I, it, I'm really passionate about family. You know, I think a lot of this starts with family. And so just to tell you a little bit about me, I had a mom, a dad, and a half sister that all had addiction. I was the only one that didn't have addiction. I had my grandparents, and they created stability, but they all struggled with addiction. And I don't really have to go into that. So what does mental health mean to me? It means that it starts with the family. And it means that my higher power is God. And God tells me that I have a voice and that I didn't get through this for nothing. And that's what I do. Whether it's the 20 years of experience supporting children and families, or whether it is serving at a higher level and it is coaching. The family matters. The family matters. And when we prioritize the family, and you know what? It's pretty easy. All we have to do is sit together around the dinner table. Sit around the dinner table and start talking. And start talking. And when we foster that type of communication, when we foster that, the energy changes. Things like we're talking about today, like, I don't feel seen, I don't feel heard, I don't feel like I mattered. That started around the dinner table, or didn't start around the dinner table. So, what does mental health mean to me? It means everything that everyone has shared today. But on top of that, I know my life experience. Again, I can't remember the gal's name or the gentleman, but it is a purpose. We're all here in these beautiful squares. We have a purpose, and we didn't get through what we got through for nothing. We got through it, like Buddy says, so we could commit to it. And for as long as we live on this planet, we will take action every single day. Every single day. And I'm not implying that families that have experienced or their children are experiencing mental health challenges don't sit around the dinner table. But again, we could make it a priority. We can ask questions. We can get curious. And now knowing that that foundation is strong, that it's intact, that we are anchoring our children, that we are anchoring ourselves. So when we go through challenging times, we know we are anchored. We are like oak trees. We're flexible. Our branches are flexible, but we're firmly planted in the ground. So that's a little quick synopsis of what mental health means to me.
I just want to say we've got two messages. Julie said it, wow, what a mental summit. So many golden nuggets. Thank you, Sanette and panelists, and for hosting the show. And Ivory said, very true. Creating a safe space for your children will go a lot further than being divided. I love that. Thank you, Kimberly. My beautiful Michael, can you tell us what mental health means for you? Michael, just let me unmute you. I'm too slow.
It's all right. Is this where you want me to do the meditation, or you wanted me to just answer your question?
You can just talk about 1 or 2 or 3 minutes of what mental health means for you.
Yeah, sure.
The meditation will come, and then I promise you we will all close our eyes.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to follow where you needed me. What does mental health mean to me? It's I think, I grew up with domestic violence. My dad was he alcoholic. They were high school sweethearts. One way to ruin a marriage is to have an affair with your dad's best friend, and that will mess things up. And I laugh about it, but it's because I have really spent a lot of time on me, and I love them both, and it's like I get it. But mental health for me is just we all have life stuff, and so it's like, well, how do I deal with the negative thinking? How do I deal with the stress, the anxiety? How do I get back to center when I get thrown off center? And you always get thrown off center, and you don't know when it's going to happen or what's going to happen or who's going to do it. But it's like, for me, it's how do I come back to me? How do I get grounded back again? Because when I'm present with me and I'm here, then I'm good for whoever or whatever needs me in that day. But if I'm off, then I'm sort of not really fully able to think well, to help you, that kind of stuff. So that's really what I think about with mental health and what it means to me. It's having your ways of getting yourself back to you and to clarity, to centering, to present, because then you're going to think better. And when you think better, whoever's in front of you that needs you, you'll be able to do much better with that. So that's what I think about.
Thank you, my beautiful Michael.
Yeah.
There is a lot of feedback. Let me just see quickly. Randy, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
It's still going in and out, but I'm catching bits and pieces of it. But I hear you clear now. So
Okay. So can you can you tell us any beautiful story of your experience with your sessions with Buddy and the team that you, or the people that you were giving and talking to?
yeah. So I always label Buddy
Getting
as
disconnected.
my Mr.
I'm not
Miyagi.
sure what's happening.
Yeah, just a simple mentor. I always tell people that, it's not about your dream, it's about your team. And so that's one of the biggest things I've learned in my career with fighting is I've had so many ups and downs because I had the wrong people on my team. So I had a lot of success, but I had a lot of failures. And, pivoting 2024, I have good people in my life who steer me in the right direction. They give me feedback. I'm a better man. I'm a better father because I have guys like Buddy in my life. I've got a 3-year-old, I've got a 13-year-old, and I've got a kid on the way. And so time is one of the biggest things and the biggest gifts I always want to give back. And I learned that from a guy like Buddy. And so just to pivot off of what Kimberly said, that resonated with me so hard because that's literally what I do. We have game nights, we have family nights, and it's just all about the kids. But I would pivot back to what I was talking about with Buddy is, he has been such a good mentor in my life, and he has actually made my mental health a little bit better because if we're going to be transparent, we're all going through it. And for me, I'm such a physical guy. I like to hit things. So I would always tell people, go get you a boxing bag and go kick something and do your breath work that way. But yeah, so that's just a quick in a nutshell with Buddy. He's a great mentor, he's a great friend. And I'm just excited to be on the show with you guys, and I look forward to what we've got to come with our journey and our mental health.
Thank you. And my beautiful Randy, while you're on, can you give one advice to a kid out there that is going through bullying or something? Can you give the kid an advice, please?
Don't be cuffed to comparison. Especially for my teenagers out there, we live in a society that tells us that you have to have, cool clothes to fit in and be cool. You got to have, Stanley cups and Nike and all these things and cell phones. And if you have that, then you'll be cool. That's not what's going to make you cool. What's going to make you cool is that you be yourself. And I'll end with this. We weren't meant to fit in. We were meant to stand out. So don't be cuffed to comparison. Yeah, buddy. So don't let others dictate your future and how they see you. Rise above, be you. You're loved, you're valued. Keep the course.
I love it. So people ask me, why are you wearing a hat? I didn't know why I put the other hat here. Now I know. Because I can. Stand, be yourself. You don't have to follow everyone. I love it, Randy. I love it. Thank you so much. My beautiful buddy, you wanted to say something?
You know, I wanted to accentuate what Kimberly said, and obviously edify Randy. You know, I am at the point in my career where I get to pick and choose what projects I work on and who I work with, and that's a blessing, partially that I earned, but partially my gift from God. I mean, I've been married an entire 50 years to my lovely wife, and she keeps me well grounded. And she asked me, what keeps you choosing the projects that you pick? And what Kimberly was talking about is exactly what it is. I was asked to participate in 20 different collaboration books in the last year, and I picked one. And the one that I picked, I literally contacted the person and I begged them to please let me write a chapter. And out of the 15 authors who contributed, I was the only male who contributed, that's fine because everyone had their story to tell. But my chapter was specifically on families. My story was about how do we define families? Because everyone has this built-in bias that the way they were raised or the way they think is the way everyone should be raised and the way everyone should think. And so I detailed 8 different distinct family types from around the globe, different situations, different scenarios. And guess what? The people who benefit from that type of knowledge isn't the parents, it's the kids. If kids could just realize that they don't have to fit in, like Randy said, it's more important to be unique and find a way to rise above, find your own place. Because realistically, at the end of the day, when you become a fully functional adult, you're going to have to live with yourself. You don't have to live with those other 8 billion other people. And so, you know, to me, it's very heartening that Kimberly feels the way she does about family, because that tells me that regardless of what kind of family she runs into in her world, she's going to treat them with equity and she's going to treat them the same. And finally, to me, it's amazing. I've known Randy for 2 years now. The amount of growth and the amount of humility that this man shows, even with 5 world championships under his belt. I mean, when he introduced himself to me, he said, "I'm the world's greatest dad." I didn't find out till later that he was a kickboxer and a 5-time world champion. And I said, "Why didn't you lead with that?" And he said, "Because that's not important. Being the world's greatest dad is important." So, people look at mental health and look at where you're at and understand if it's going to be, it has to be me. You can't depend on other people. Yeah, we're here to support you. We're here to guide you. We're here to give you little nuggets that are going to get you through the day. But at the end of the day, if I can give you 5 coping mechanisms and it will allow you to get to next year or next decade, that's far more important than anything else that you could ever get from me. So, Randy, I appreciate the fact that you listen and that you spread the word, because at the end of the day, I'm just me. And without you amplifying me, I would still just be me.
Wow. Thank you, my beautiful buddy and Randy, for everything that you are doing. And Jeffrey says, thank you, Randy Blake Jr. My beautiful Caddy, do you have a message for the viewers out there?
I mean, I love this conversation that we're having. And there was one more thing that popped into my head that I thought was really profound that somebody said to me one time. And it was, we constantly say it's okay to not be okay, but I want you to know it's also okay to be okay. And so if we can kind of change the narrative and we can kind of flip it on its head of it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay. Like Buddy was saying, let's break down the stigma. Let's get rid of it. Right. But it's also absolutely okay to be okay. And that's just what I wanted to share. And Sinette, as always, thank you so much for having me on. This is a beautiful space to be with all of these beautiful people.
Amazing. Thank you, my beautiful Kelly. You are amazing. So, my beautiful viewers, remember Kelly also have her own show on E360 TV, and her show is truly inspirational. My beautiful Laura, do you've got something that you want to bestow on the viewers?
Again, just it's an honor, right? In all of the world and all of the people, when we come together and we make time to not only impart wisdom and knowledge and golden nuggets, but we choose to do this, as Buddy said. Whether we feel like we can choose it or we feel like we have to choose it, but it really is the power seat of choice. We choose where we put our time, how we show up, and the reasons why. And to almost kind of in support of what Buddy was saying, in the science of empowerment, I write about becoming a self-actualized thinking human being. And this is why this chapter is so important, because our autonomy, we get to authorize how we move through this world. And I love what Kelly just said. I have sometimes was bullied when I was a kid because of that exact statement. I felt good. I felt amazing. I showed up. I was strong. I was empowered at a very young age, and I was not without childhood trauma and issues. I just chose to look at it very differently than other people, and I really empowered my life differently than going into drugs or alcohol and a lot of like self trauma. And I used to feel bad, like that I felt so good, that I loved my life, that I felt amazing, that I just felt so gifted from the universal energies, from the God force, that I was born in the United States of America. And I didn't have a lot of tragedy. And even though, yes, I was bullied, that I had a strong support system that taught me, give grace to those who do not know better and carry on. And so I think this is really important. So I think for anyone listening out there, again, you are seen, you are heard. There are people, as Buddy said, we will go where you are. We've done the work a bit ahead of you, and we have the strength to sit with you and listen and give you support. And if you are willing and you ask, we will help elevate you. So you're not alone.
Beautiful. Thank you, my beautiful Laura. Kimberly, do you've got something beautiful that you can bestow on the viewers out there?
Embrace personal development, embrace it, and because it is the key to unlocking the I have that on my shirt, Michael. I love that. And Michael, by the way, I love your shirt. I'm guessing you're a gardener. I'm a gardener too. I love it. There's so much we can learn in our gardens. Anyway, personal development is the key to unlocking your heart and soul. And we all know what is in our soul. It is the way of our state of being. I mean, that is who we are. So, definitely embrace personal development and also get creative. Get creative. Now, today, again, we talked about managing our minds. Absolutely. Let's manage our minds. We're all creative. We all have something that we can get creative about, because I'm telling you, your creativity will take you places. It will take you places. It will expand your mind and take you places that you're destined to go. So that's what I got.
Thank you, Kimberly. And Eric says, I have to run, but it was a great event. Thank you, Eric, for watching. Thank you to each and everyone for this important conversation around mental health. Jeffrey said, healthy gut, health, mind from the microbiome. I'm so sorry. And then, Kimberly, you said self learning, self improvement. But for me, I will say, to have fun. I will say, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen, you can have pockets of happiness every day. You can choose it. And the easiest way is wiggle your bum and have a dance on me. Have a dance, because as soon as you start dancing and moving your body, you will be happy. So, in that, my beautiful Michael, we are almost done with the show, but I have left the 5 minutes for you. I am gonna unmute you, and I will mute everyone. You are welcome to go ahead.
So I'm gonna say one comment, and then I'll lead us through a meditation in it. The meditation, I title it "Make Peace with Your Struggle." So if anybody out there, including myself, is struggling with something, it's about making peace with that. But the thing I wanted to say is sometimes you hear things like chronic anxiety or chronic, anger or chronic isolation, and I think I want to distinguish. Chronic does not mean permanent, and I think that's important to understand. And that your feelings and your neurology will follow your focus. So your feelings and your neurology will follow your focus. So I'm just going to leave on that. So I'm going to ask you can close your eyes if you want. If you're not comfortable with that, you can leave them open and just gaze at something. I'm going to be asking you to sense your breath, and I'm going to ask you to sense it, however, in your heart center. I could say sense your breathing, and I want you to sense it in your right nostril, and you could actually do that. But I'm going to ask you to sense your breath and sense it in your heart center. So just begin to do that. Just sense your breathing into your heart space. And just a breathing in and a breathing out. But just sensing the breath. When you sense your breath, you really stop thinking. So if you're dealing with negative thought and you just begin to sense your breath in your heart, it's like taking the foot off the accelerator and your thinking can slow down. I want you to deliberately take a couple of breaths, and it's a breath that equals all is well. Your body, your being in this very minute knows exactly how to breathe a breath that says all is well. It does not need anything to change in order for you to deliberately breathe the breath that says all is well. So I invite you to breathe, still sensing your heart space. But it's a breath that says all is well. Might be fuller, might be slower. And you're just journeying from your head space to your heart space. And in this heart space, just sensing a divine space, presence and energy, and intelligence, a light. And just resting yourself and your focus in this space. And just a couple of more breaths, but just sensing the heart and just sensing that divine space. And in this space, first I want you to rest yourself. Just rest you as you are. Whatever concerns, whatever struggles, just rest you here. And for now, nothing about you needs to be different. Nothing about you needs to change. Just let yourself be exactly as you are, however you feel, whatever that means. But just rest yourself, make peace with you in this space. Just for now, nothing needs to be different. And take another breath of all is well. And in this space, I just invite you to rest any struggle you have. Could be a person, could be a situation, could be a struggle with you. Whatever it is, just envision resting it here. Not trying to change it, fix it. There's nothing to fix in this moment, but just letting it be, them be. It's as if you're taking an ice cube and you're resting it in the sun. You don't have to force or effort to make the cube transform and melt, but you do have to rest it in the light. So for a moment, just resting yourself in your heart space in this light, resting them, resting the situation, resting whatever negativity might have you. Nothing to fix, nothing to struggle with. You don't have to make yourself different. Just rest yourself in this light, just like the ice cube in the sun. The energy of the sun does the work. And you're just letting yourself be in this space. And just sensing your breath, sensing that light within you, within the situation, within them, around them, in every space, in every nuance, in every detail that concerns you. Let that space, that light be present. And just rest all of it here. And any thoughts of wondering what's happening, are you doing anything right? Just sense your breath again and let the thought be. There's no thoughts to stop, just sensing your breath instead. And just for time, I'm going to ask you to do one more. A breath that says that all is well, and sending the message throughout your being, throughout your body, that all is well. And just know this space, this breath, it's always here. It's always just your focus and a breath away. And one more, all is well breath, and then begin to make your way back. Take your time, sort of. There you go.
That was nice.
Just know that as you breathe in your heart, you increase the coherence of your heart. And 90% of the communication between your brain and your heart is going from your heart to your brain. And the cells of your heart are in sync with the cells of the amygdala. So as you take charge of your rhythm of your heart, you're literally sending signals to the primitive part of your brain to chill out. And it's more effective than positive thought. I can think a positive thought and still feel like crap. It's just a talent of mine. But if you breathe well, And sense the heart space, it does a lot for you. So,
wow. Thank you, my beautiful one. We've got 3 the show is finished. I want to say, my beautiful viewers, thank you so much for viewing. My diamond viewers and Tanzanite heroes, thank you so much for being an amazing group. And then to all my guests, you were truly amazing. So we're going to wave goodbye, but you could stay in the studio. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.